Whoa, whoa. One Love Jamaica family. I'm currently out by the Palisades Strip, and yes, I know that some of you may be concerned, but I'm actually working. But I'm actually capturing content as I work. Now, as we look on, this is Kingston Harbour that's right in front of you here. Over this side, you can see the waves, and so yes, it's kind of rough. But I can tell you on that side, it's even worse. I just noticed that a number of JDF personnel have gone down to the Norman Manley International Airport, or I think in the Port Royal community there's a police officer driving by. I think they're taking evacuation measures because the Prime Minister has announced that all persons should evacuate from a number of communities, people. And trust me, the wind here, it is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. It's extremely powerful at this moment. And I can tell you that if persons are not supposed to be out on the road working, please do not come out on the road. But just One Love Jamaica fam, just giving you a look at what's happening. I'll just show you briefly. I came up on the rocks here just to give you a view. Show you what's happening on this side. This will be the eastern side. Out here on Palisades. That is the western side. It's a little rough, but it's way much calmer in comparison. As we climb up here, it's way much calmer. Now what's happening on this side? You see that, family? You see those waves? The waves are getting higher and higher by the minute. And from as far as you can see, we're right back to Port Royal and beyond. This is it, family. Melissa is almost here. She was turning away a bit to the west earlier. She's been slow because, you know, she was expected over the weekend, and every day it's good news for Jamaica in terms of her continuing on that path. She's still south and she's heading west. Very slow though. I think it's about 3 miles per hour. So continue to keep Jamaica in your prayers. Also, let us keep Cayman Islands and the other countries that can possibly be in our path. Cuba, our neighbors, Haiti, and all those countries. Dam Rep has already felt the effects, a lot of flooding and so on. A few lives lost. I think one also in Haiti, 2 persons in Dam Rep. And we just have to continue praying, people. But this is the situation. I'm going to be making my way back down into Kingston proper to give you some more footage of what's happening. And as I said before, family, I'm actually working as we speak. I'm one of those persons that's technically required to be out here. So that's our last look. I'll catch up back with you in a few. Wow, trust me, it's extremely windy. It's extremely windy out here, family. Whoa, whoa, wow. That gust of wind. God, let me hurry up and get out of here. One Love Jamaica, family. I'm currently making my way to Port Royal to see what's happening in that area. Because, you know, wow, you see that? That stuff running across the roadway, so it's possible that this road could be blocked in a number of hours from now, in a few hours from now. There's, as I said, I had mentioned earlier, I think that a number of JDF vehicles are making their way into Port Royal. I think it's to try to get people out to evacuate persons from the area. Because this is one of the areas that, you know, everybody is worried about. But you know, Port Royal people tend to be stubborn because they say they understand the sea. Yes, I can agree with them to some extent. They understand the sea better than me. But it's always better to be safe than sorry. Over here we have the new pier that was built a few years ago. That's in operation. I don't think that there's anything happening today. So we're about to head into Port Royal. And that's the fire station. We're now in Port Royal, One Love Jamaica family. As we proceed, Dockyard Lane. You can see that the streets are, well, I wouldn't say virtually empty, but there are not a lot of people out on the roadway. Hello, morning. Where does the buses come to evacuate persons? Out of the main. And if I drive here, I can go around and go back where, right?
Go right, go.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, man, alright.
So, just going through, giving you a look at what's happening. There's the police station. There's a number of boats that have been tied out here. The Port Royal. Let's make a quick stop here. So that's a police station to the left, One Love Jamaica family. I hear a number of boats tied here by the fishermen out here in Port Royal. Ironically, this boat is called Any Weather here in the Port Royal community. We can take a look out there at the Kingston Harbour. You can see that the fishermen have ensured to tie up their boats. That's the famous Gloria's restaurant. So I love Jamaica family. I'm currently on Queen Street here in Port Royal. This seems to be the only sign of any issues here in Port Royal. As you can see, there's just a little bit of flooding here that carries you onto, this is Queen Street, carries you onto Broad Street. And this seems to be the only issue that these people have. They're very comfortable. They have no issues at all. Matter of fact, they'll tell you that the reef will protect them out here, so they're not worried at all about anything. But to be honest, it's actually quite calm. Hi, Mom. As I told you, like nothing, like everything, they're used to it. You can see the wind now is intensifying over here. But there's a kind of eerie calm here in the community of Port Royal. Matter of fact, I'm as the outside, I almost slipped a while ago. So One Love family, I'm going to make my way out of Port Royal now, back into the main areas of Kingston and St. Andrew. You can see some chickens are out. As I said, I hear music playing, everything is fine as far as Port Royal people are concerned. See, that's a Blackbeard spot. And just a look at the community. Everybody is just sitting and waiting. So we'll make our way out now, this way. I see a dog here in front of the fire station. Here are some of the main buildings here in the Port Royal community. So we are on our way back into Kingston. One Love Jamaica family. One Love Jamaica family, I'm currently in Caribbean Terrace. But General, what go on? And I can tell you, this is where it gets serious. A few days ago when I was here, You could all see sand all over the place now. Most of that sand is gone. You're just looking at rocks. Yeah. Alright, take care of yourself. Yeah, man.
What you want?
Yeah, one love Jamaica family. This is the storm surge, a dangerous storm surge here out here in Caribbean Terrace. As I said a few days ago, you could see sand. Now all you're looking at is just rocks. All of that sand is now gone, and this is where it really gets dangerous. And you see all the houses that were damaged. And as I said, from Hurricane Ivan, and look at those waves. A few days ago, you'd have probably seen video of some young men surfing. It would have been in that direction. And this is where it really gets dangerous. Just want to give you a little bit closer look, and as I've said, continually said, I'm very careful. All of this area recently, this was all sand. You could not see any of these stones, but now, as you can see, all the action of the tides coming in here, that's causing all of this. Trust me, it is getting very serious, one love Jamaica family. See, that's an example of what happened here a number of years ago. And whether you believe it or not, a few of these buildings, persons still live in them. As you can see, this is a bit boarded up, and there's electricity on top. So someone is living in that building. So one love family, as you can hear, that is renowned Jamaican journalist Cliff Hughes
west,
giving an update on what's happening with Melissa. Let us just take a listen here.
Jamaica. She's south of Jamaica, but she's moving west. So we'd like her to clear Jamaica in her westward movement. Get back out into the Caribbean Sea before she starts to make what is predicted to be a northern turn. Because if she's west of Jamaica, yes, put up that map for me. If she's west.
Yes, I just wanted to give you an idea of what's happening on the radio. If you're not here, a lot of reporting on the conditions. And you know, I want to big up a fellow YouTuber, a much bigger YouTuber than me. Teach them. He has been, you know, streaming information right through. So I just want to big up the general. That's really worthy of him to see him really make that kind of sacrifice. You can see here that this sign was blown down. So we can see that this Everfresh sign now has been blown down out here. That to give you an idea of what the wind is in the area, and we have not necessarily seen the worst of it as yet. And believe it or not, one love Jamaica, and you know Jamaica, we are Jamaicans are. I'm currently in the parking lot of Bank of Jamaica, and there are a number of residents here who have decided that they want to come out and see what's happening on the waterfront. So as I get closer, you see what it looks like here. As much as I can catch. All in Jamaica. All in Jamaica. All in Jamaica. All the Jamaicans will turn this into a party atmosphere.
leave us alone. Tell us to leave us alone.
One Love Jamaica family, I tell you about us. Only in Jamaica you see something like that a while ago. Only in Jamaica. One Love family. Right here you can see where the person that is operating this hand cart has tied down the zinc to the roof. In the background there you're looking at the Rock Hotel. And there are a number of persons out here seeing what's happening on the Kingston waterfront. Wow. You can see the weather intensifying now. See the big waves coming in. This is where myself is not worth it, you know. Huge groups of people have come out to see what's happening here on the waterfront. And ironically, I still prefer outside. You just see it. And there's nothing wrong with sitting on the waves. Yeah. Alright, take care of yourself, alright? Yeah, man. Why I say this man is virtually pinned to this tree. One Love Jamaica family, you can see in the background. It's extremely windy out here. Wow. Everybody just be safe out there.